All right, it is September 20 something, the alleged month of the birth of Iesu, and my recent enlightenment for the true light. Anyway, I wanted to talk about herding chickens, herding chickies, little babies, and the lack of information available from real people about how to raise chickies in the most natural environment without a parent. So these chickies, I bought them from a woman who lives 40-ish minutes from me, who seems pretty serious backyard chicken lady. Very nice. And 2 have died of my 8. I've learned a lot. I sit outside here and I watch them, like I'm checking all the time to see that I can see them, and that they're staying together, and then your ear gets attuned to their chirp. And I have come to a lot of conclusions about things, and one is that the sweetness is yet another vector for human extinction. So metals and the sweetness, but I have a solution, and you do too, which is the salt. So I want to talk about domestication. As I am here in my backyard, there are wild birds. Yes, wild birds, if we can agree on wild, that are here hovering in the branches. And the first times I took them out, I thought, okay, everybody had talked about these chicken hawks and stuff, but I now think that a lot of people claim that, and actually their chickens died from the food they gave them, the crowding, the chicken coop or co-op, the food, the crowding, maybe not having enough water, and maybe them not knowing where the water is. I mean, they don't have a mom. So you have to become or dad. They don't even have a rooster. So at this age, like cats and probably a lot of the small, I don't know, cats and chickens, you don't know their gender till later. So I'm with the children, we're looking at who we think is male and female, see if we're wrong or right. And wow, it's been amazing. It's very important not to get them wet. Right? So, because they don't have a mom to sit under. But one of the chickies, the biggest one, there's 2 big blonde ones that are huge, and he put his wing over his brothers, these 2 little ones that are not really his brothers. They're like another. I haven't even looked up the breeds. I don't even want to go into breeds, because the breeds are another grafting situation, or it's grafting, whatever you want to call it. What it is slow sterility. And much of that is done through what I just described. The crowded, living, uncomfortable conditions. Are we seeing a parallel to big cities? I am. And I don't think they make mistakes with words, like it's the chicken coop and the co-op. I sold real estate in Manhattan, and a cooperative. You got to be cooperating with the board that has been elected by you and your neighbors, and then they can do whatever they want. That's a cooperative. And a condominium, the difference is that generally there's a paid outside organization that also manipulates your rights or your lefts, because rights are what they give us, and your lefts are what naturally exist. And they don't stop with the words, people. It is, friend, whoever's watching this, the words are the weapon. And I highly recommend Florence Scovel Shinn's book, The Word is Your Wand. I'm going to check on the chickies. Come on, buddy. Wow, so I just went out and saw two of the chickies, and there was a squirrel within 20 feet, and it was a not scared squirrel. And most squirrels, my growing up here, run the heck away. And this one, like, stood his ground. And you know what a squirrel is? A squirrel is a rat with a tail that's longer and can sky jump between trees. So I just clapped my hands, and he ran up the tree. But he didn't run that fast. So these are the things we have to look at with nature. People are feeding animals that shouldn't be fed. We're inviting vermin and alligator imagery to influence us to think that these are safe or good animals, like the whole pit bull thing. I mean, the pit bull thing is terrible. So let me get back to domestication. The chickies, I've been experimenting with a lot of feed, and I know that the two that died, it's because of me, and I feel terrible about it, but I've learned a lot from their deaths. And I think that if you feed an animal or a person sweet things from birth, you are slowly killing them. And I mean anything that tastes sweet. And I made a post on Facebook recently about honey, which I should post here. I think honey is a construct from the guys who made the honeybees, because there's only like dozens, maybe 12 is what I think, honeybee types, but there's 20,000 pollinating, life-giving bee types in the world, at least. So what's that? And when I started reading the Bible, I was like, look, I was like, okay, I'm going into food. I want to know what kind of food is in this Bible and what did people eat. Like, and I got into it that way, and that's how I came to my salt theory. And I was always suspect of the honey, and I think I know now why. And I think it's because the more that we consume sweet, tasting anything, the less salty we crave, and then we die, which fits in the salt theory. So the good news is you can reverse all of this by training your taste buds, being disciplined like a disciple, and consuming salty versus sweet more the most you can. And that salt is a great, beautiful remedy, solution. And solution comes from the word soul, and soul, sal, and hal are all synonyms and root words. And I talk about this in other videos, and I hope you'll join me in living 150 years minimum, and by slowly in your lifestyle just removing something here and there every day, making a decision to stop doing something. Hey, Chickie. And or challenging yourself, because death is giving up. So if you're, and I don't think anybody who's even watching this, or if anyone is watching this, would be even here watching this if you because you already know, because we're attracted to the same information. We must start trusting our discernment for truth, questioning ourselves, losing our ego, recognizing that we've been scammed. Okay, it says I'm recording. It's 9 minutes and 30 seconds. I lost a video the other day. Again. So, get more salt in your diet. Even if it tastes sweet and it's the best honey you can find, or agave, or whatever the hell it is, you're going to find that there is a small group of people, and I mean that word small in a big way, in various definitions, that wants to exterminate us. And they are really smart, and they have achieved incredible numbers of deaths. And they have destroyed the land and the sky and the weather, which is the sky. So that, you know, you could perceive them as winning, but they're only winning if you don't, hey baby, come here, if you don't resist. Right? You have to resist. You have to be a non-conformist. You have to individuate. That means do not associate. Do not associate. Like, I'm watching these chickies. Right now, they're pretty spread out. And I have to keep an eye on them. But I like that they're individuals. And I like that they're trying to figure out where they're gonna pick up some kind of small speck of an insect, because that's what they should eat. But they won't eat that if I give them the rind of a cantaloupe, or if I give them the rind of pomegranate, which if I give them that and it's easier to eat something sweet, then they're never going to learn how to pull worms out of the ground. And I personally want eggs and chickens eventually, after they produce a lot of eggs for me, that I know what they ate and I know how they lived, because they're producing eggs, which I like a lot and are a huge symbol of fertility, and their shape is an oval, and I've talked about this as well. That's why I'm coherence 8. I love the infinity number. And I gotta go because the chickies just went to the front yard. Have a great afternoon. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much.